guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carolynmatea, and today we are going over the 4 things you need to know before you start college.
No personal thing.
So today, I'm not going to be keeping you guys long. I just wanted to go over these 4 things that I thought were the most prominent thing that I wish that I knew before I started college. So like I said, I'm not going to keep you long. The bell doesn't dismiss you. I do. So we're just going to all sit tight and get this done. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is the first thing that I wish that I knew is not to buy my books before the class started. And I knew if the professor wanted to use that book or if he was actually going to use the book in the first place. So here are my tips for that. The first time I went into a class that said, here's the textbook that you need to buy, I went to the bookstore, I got the book, and it was like wrapped in plastic, and at the end of the semester, we're gonna be able to return it. So my teacher had said that we would be needing these books to do tests and do quizzes and stuff like that. But at the same time, we would go over every class, these lectures that basically had the answers that the quiz and the test were based off of. Nothing in the book really was what the questions were based off. So I just had this book in plastic sitting in my room for the whole semester that I never used. So that's why I would say the way to go about this, I think, would be if your teacher says you don't need the book, obviously you don't get the book. If your teacher says you need the book, but they're already giving you slide presentations, you can already check online on your classes because usually they put the lectures inside folders in a specific class online. So even before class starts, you can check to see if there's lectures in there that pertain to what you think that the teachers will be going over. And then you'll know like probably not to really go for the book. You know what I would even suggest is that instead get the book like a week before the test. I mean, that far into the class when you're gonna be taking your quizzes and your tests, like, or your first quiz or your first test, you'll be already getting to know the class or whatever. And then another thing that you could do is probably like go and reach your professor, obviously, and see if the book is used for this teacher, because sometimes people will explain that as well. Because I mean, at the end of the day, the book is still going to be the same price if you get it at the beginning of the semester or if you get it in the middle of the semester before your first test. So my next tip would be take those extra classes. All right, so we have just transitioned from high school to college, and I feel like in high school, well, at least in my high school, we had 8 classes, and it was a long, busy day. But in college, it just kind of feels a little bit more, your classes feel a little bit more spread out. Sometimes, like, my class even lasts just like from 8 to 9:15, so they just feel so short compared to the classes that I was having in middle school and high school. And so my first semester, it just felt like I had like so much time in between classes to do nothing with, and I was in love with that idea because I was like, I'm doing classes and I just have to do these minimal assignments and I don't really have a lot to do because this is pretty easy stuff, because it's like just it's the basis, it's the prerequisites, so they're just reteaching you everything that you need to know. So it's like basic English, math. I'm not gonna say basic math because I even still basic math with me, I still don't comprehend. So I'm taking my math classes now at my last in my last semesters because I'm just that bad at it. But all the other courses I'm talking about, besides math, were pretty easy, and I just felt like my classes were in the electives as well. They're just so easy, and I just had so much time to just do nothing. But instead, I wish that I had taken those. I wish that I had taken at least an extra 5th class instead of not taking that extra class, because the schools do tell you, oh, it only takes 2 years to finish this course. But then when you get to the end of your 2 years and you still have these other courses that's going to keep you for another half a year, which is another semester, then you're going to be like, whoa, wait, you said that I will be done with this course in 2 years if I took these 4 classes each semester like you told me to. But actually, you might be staying for an extra year, your 3rd year, and you're getting your prerequisites if you're not careful and paying attention. So one thing that I wish that I did do was take at least 1 course in the summer, take at least a 5th class with my 4 classes, because they were just like that easy, and they were just that like I just had so much free time. I mean, obviously you have to take into consideration if you're working what your time schedule looks like, but I was working and I still feel like I could have taken a 5th class and I would have been perfectly fine and passed all those classes with no problems. So that's just something that you would need to take into consideration and decide for yourself. So my next tip is going to be explaining a little bit more about those extra classes and how you should be paying attention to what you have to do to finish your courses. Because your advisor, let me tell you a story. Let's sit down and paint a little picture. So probably into like the 2nd semester that I had this advisor, And I mean, they will always send you emails. Like, I'm pretty sure they're pre-registered, pre-recorded. I don't know, whatever. They just send them to you on like a timer, like to tell you, oh, you need to speak to your advisor about your classes. My first time that I signed up for my classes, I went to my advisor and she set up my first classes for me. She didn't show me how to do it. She didn't show me where to go. She just set them up for me. So I thought that that was the norm, that every semester I would go to my advisor and they would explain to me which classes is best for me to take next and explain those classes to me. So then the second semester rolls around and I'm like, okay, I get that email and I'm like, let me talk to my advisor, let me call her, I'm gonna set an appointment. So I set an appointment for my advisor and she's like, oh, hi, yeah, so what did you need, why are you calling me? And I'm like, oh, it's time for me to set up my next classes. And she goes, oh, girl, why is that so hard for you to comprehend? You're my advisor, you're supposed to tell me what class. I think that's like the part of your job description, is that you're just supposed to tell students what classes they're supposed to go to. Anyways, then she's just like, well, I mean, you didn't have to call me for that. I mean, you could just go on your online student portal and look up the information and it tells you what class you're supposed to go to, and then you go to your schedule and you set that up for yourself. I'm like, okay. And like I said, she never explained this to me. She was the one who set it up. So, and this is my second semester, so obviously I'm oblivious, and I'm just like, okay. So I have to log into my school information, log into my school website in the information, and try to figure it out for myself, which I did figure out. It was like a whole screen where it will show you the courses that you can take to fulfill a specific required credit. But like I said, as a new college student, I had no idea how that worked. So now I do, and my tip for you is that you should know and figure out how to do that as well. Because here is my next tip. So my next tip is to make sure that you are taking your AA classes that pertain to your bachelor's that you want to go into. Because me, like I said, oblivious, I did not realize that, I just thought that all of the courses were general courses, that you could take this AA and move on to get a bachelor's in anything that you wanted, because they're just general courses. So I was taking film classes, and by the end of these 2 years, I was like, well, my time is up, like I must be done, like I don't have any more classes. The page that told me which courses and credits I still need to fill out, it looks like by the end of this semester they're going to be all complete, so I'm done. And so I go to my advisor, but guess what, I have a brand new advisor. I don't have the same advisor that I had for the past 3 semesters, was blowing me off and not really doing her job. But this advisor, she was really sweet to me, and I was like, okay, so yeah, I'm done with my courses, right? And she was like, she gave the breaking news to me. She was like, no, you're not, I'm sorry. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, the last advisor that the students had, a lot of them were confused as well. It's not just you. You do still have these courses that you have to finish. And I'm like, but it's been 2 years. I'm done. And she's like, actually, like, for you to get the degree, you still have to do probably another semester, and then you have to wait a semester to take the specific class that you want to take. So actually you have to take 2 semesters, because you can't take the same that credit in the same semester. And I was like, blink, wait. I was like, absolutely. So I'm staying for another year, 3 years, when I'm supposed to be going on to get my bachelor's. And let me tell you, I was pretty crushed by that. So if I had paid attention, well, it wasn't really my fault. I didn't know, like I said, like, you don't know these things until someone is telling you. So you just need to really pay attention. Don't listen to your advisors. That's horrible advice. Let me just say, all advisors aren't created equal, okay? Because some advisors won't tell you the full truth and what you need to do to complete your degree. So you need to be careful. You need to have your eyes wide open, pay attention to everything, ask questions, and make sure that you know what you need to do to be done by the end of your 2 years. Because I think as well, like, the college wants you to stay longer, because obviously they get more money. So you need to be really adamant about what courses you want to do, know which courses you want to do, and make sure that you let your advisor know, I want to be done by these 2 years, and this is how we're going to get it done, because these are the courses that I'm going to take, and then I'm going to be done. And like I said, if you're adamant and you know what you want, your advisors are going to give you that information. But if you just let them take the reins, and they will give you courses that you don't need to take. I had courses that I did not need to be taking. So that I did not need to be taking, that I cannot even use like for my bachelor's. I can't use these courses. They're just unnecessary. They're just unnecessary courses on my manuscript. Is that what it's called? A manuscript? That I can't use because they don't pertain. They're not going to pertain to what I want to do for my bachelor's, and it's not going to pertain to me getting my degree. So anyways, I think that's the bell. So I'm gonna dismiss you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I will see you guys later. Bye. Is this where we go when we die? Where are y'all guys? Where has to be here for the whole thing. That's like a soft thing. Oh my gosh, where are we? You guys know your lines. Hello? Well, while you guys are here, why don't you guys subscribe and hit that notification bell?